All right. So last Friday, we worked on this little bonus cartoon for the anthology of my webcomic, Noah's Archipelago, that I am working on right now. Noah showing up after the introduction and all that other stuff. Right when the comics are about to start, always skip the previews. And today we are going to ink a different bonus cartoon as I try and bring up the stream on my stupid laptop so I can see what's going on. I think this is just kind of the way things go away. Anyways, what we are going to be doing, first of all, I guess I need to there we go. First of all, I've got some water and I've got some little yogurt, pudding containers, whatever. So I need to divvy this up because I know I'm clumsy and I didn't want to have, these are a little unstable, so I didn't want to have them full of water on my desk before absolutely necessary, or 3/4 full of water, whatever. Anyway, so we got that. What I am drawing on is Bristol board. So I just move stuff a little bit further away from my laptop, which you can see right there. Actually, I'll try and push that away. And we are going to be inking this with a dip pen. For all my complaining about Speedball Super Black being kind of more charcoal, did I get a different ink? No, we're still using Speedball. Whatever. So I'm going to shake that up a little bit. And we are going to get right to it. So in this cartoon, this is going to be part of the introduction, or actually it's coming at the very end of the introduction when I kind of give the story of, got ink on my fingers already. I kind of give the story of Noah and his family and all that. And there's a joke at the end, something about listening to what your characters want. And initially it seems like perhaps I'm going to listen to what Noah wants, but actually his daughter Ursula is getting the T-Rex that she keeps asking the cartoonist for. So let's get started with that. I'll do the rar and whatnot sort of towards the end with a fatter pen. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll do multiple line, thin lines, make it a little more jagged. After all, you know, it's a T-Rex, it's screaming. That would kind of be a shattered kind of sound. I don't know. Who knows what they sounded like. But I do kind of like this kind of multi-stroke lettering kind of thing when I am doing like screams or whatever. So here we go. And I realized after I had this vision of, you know, Ursula as the cowgirl and in the sort of southwest. I understand doesn't really go together. Cows don't graze really in the desert. There's not much for them to graze on. And also T-Rexes, well, it's been a while since I've, you know, done any research into the whole T-Rex world, but I kind of envision them as being more tropical. But you know what? It's the cartoon universe. It don't gotta make no sense, does it? Nope. No, it does not. So, there we go. Were cactuses even on the Earth at the same time as T-Rexes? I could look that up some other time, but it's the cartoon universe. So we'll just say sure. Those like flat top mesa kind of rocks in the background here. Then we also need Ursula's text. I'm just going to move my little nib holder. I think I've shown this before. It's a little pinch pot clay pot that I made in a ceramics class a while back. It's Crazy Larry, who is the father of one of my other characters, Miles. Well, actually, a couple weeks ago on the stream, I did some inking for a project involving Miles, where Miles is stuck in jury duty. But actually, I might do a stream on Monday, in which case I will finish that spread. But that's a problem for future Pyra. Speaking of problems, future Pyra, or present Pyra, needs to watch where these are, because I almost knocked one with my knuckle. Oh well. Hi, Kevin Britt. This week I learned from my last live stream. I actually made the text on my laptop huge so I can actually read it. I think last time someone said hi and I was like, I cannot read that. Oh my god. I think I got the name vaguely correct, but anyways, hello to you. So let's keep going. And this cactus is obviously a little closer and partly obscured by the exuberant yeehaw. And let's give it some nice, well, not nice, vicious spines. I'm sure this will end up being cropped, if for no other reason than my scanner. This is a 9x12 Bristol board, and my scanner does very, very slightly bigger than letter sized. But, you know, we'll worry about that later. That's why I kind of, down here, I've left a little bit of space by Noah. Except I didn't on the RAR. Well, you know, Photoshop to the rescue. If I really screwed up, I'll just take something and shift it over. Lasso that. Fixed. No one will ever know unless they watch this live stream. But, you know. So... nice big, what are they called? Saguaro? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, cactus. The fact that it's this big and healthy looking means that it is not one of my cactuses. Actually, I'm doing better with my cactuses these days. But just because they're succulents doesn't mean you can forget to water them for 3 months. I've learned that the hard way multiple times. Oh well. Since this is a liquid ink, what I'm going to be trying to do is work left to right, top to bottom. But, you know, at some point we'll come back and put some shading in the sky. But hopefully, I was going to say, by then it should be dry. But you know what? Actually, I should probably do some of that now, maybe? Yeah. I should be responsible and do the sky a little early so I don't smudge things too badly. But I'm not going to be doing too much. I'm thinking just some little bit of indications that there's some clouds, a little bit of definition so it's not like a plain white sky in a comic book. And of course, that particular cloud probably going to get cropped out, but that's fine. We want a little bit of whether it's sunrise or sunset, probably sunset. Or, well, I was going to say Ursula's not really one for getting up early, but Saturday morning cartoons kind of make a liar out of that statement. She don't want to get up early for school, but then who does? I suddenly have the feeling that I should pay a lot more attention when, like, the Arizona tourism Instagram accounts cross my feed. Yeah, we'll call that good enough for the far background. Yeah. So we'll probably come fatten up some of these lines with a bigger nib later, but that's later. All right, our T-Rex friend, Ursula's T-Rex friend. Ursula's favorite stuffed animal is Mr. T-Rex. Plushie who is a T-Rex, but he's holding like a big fat heart in front of his chest. Obviously, this guy a little different from Mr. T-Rex. Seems a lot less friendly also. And then also he has reason to not be friendly. He's gotten saddled up. Not thrilled about that probably. And yeah, I know the latest thing is that T-Rexes have had feathers or whatnot, but you know. I don't know. I like the delusions we all had when we were kids in the 80s. Those were more fun. Big scaly lizard types. This T-Rex looks like he could use a little Accutane, but that's fine. I'm gonna assume the T-Rex has, instead of like an ear per se, some sort of tympanic membrane like iguanas have or whatever. I got a little bit in his mouth. He's not going to be happy about that neither. Hi, Malia Barella. I hope I said that right. How's it going? Good, good to hear. Once I get the texturing down, I will come in with a slightly thicker nib and fatten up some of these outlines because it's looking a little too samey same, but we'll get there when we get there. So probably put in a little bit of striping as well, but I'm going to do kind of the scale texture first, section by section anyways. Now, I don't know if I've ever seen in like T-Rex displays if they put like a crest or anything, but I did have an iguana for 10 years and the iguana had spikes, so, or spines in the back of the neck. And a lot of lizards do, and that's something that wouldn't show really in the bone record, although I think they do have, I don't know about T-Rex specifically. I know they have other dinosaurs where the way they were preserved, they can tell what the skin looked like. But again, cartoon universe, our guy, he gonna have spikes. But they're gonna magically disappear where the saddle is, because that would be uncomfortable. This T-Rex has been doing his bicep curls. a little bit more of the background here. Probably needs a third saguaro or whatever those cactuses are called, but yeah, won't worry about that too much. Ursula's got her little pink cowgirl hat. For some reason, she's not wearing her little plastic Queen Ursula crown, but I guess she figured that wasn't very appropriate for being out in the desert with a T-Rex. Sometimes have people ask on my webcomic Noah's Archipelago, why is Ursula never happy? It's like, well, she's happy plenty of times. It's just the comics tend to be about when she's in school or having conflict. We don't do too many comics about Ursula riding a T-Rex. She'd probably smile a lot more if I did. Gives some indication of her other ponytail. This kind of flat paddle-like cacti are called Oponetia or Opontia or Opontia or something like that. We can actually sort of grow them where I live if you have a warm spot. I'm actually on the west coast of Canada, but in a kind of particularly warm little valley, so the local garden center sells them. So I have not attempted because I figured there'd probably be a squirrel that would plant a hazelnut right next to the cactus, and then I'd go to weed the hazelnut, the unwanted hazelnut plant out and get myself stabbed in the fingers. So yeah, oh well. But they look really cool. Back to texturizing our T-Rex. I think on the belly, I'm going to have it more like his forearms or her forearms. A little bit lesser texture. Hey, Pavel, how's it going? Good, relatively speaking. Looks like you're having some fun. Yeah. Working on bonus cartoons for the first Noah's Archipelago anthology, which, God willing, I'll get done sometime in the next couple months. Probably won't actually be out until the fall, but figured I needed some bonus cartoons. So this one's for the introduction. And Ursula on a real T-Rex. And Noah, well, actually, let's sort of work back up this way. Noah not being thrilled about the matter. Because, whenever a kid gets a pet, we all know who really takes care of the pet. Water containers yet again. One more cactus over here, just for good measure. Well, why would Noah have the snow shovel out in the desert? Well, big pets leave big messes. At the risk of being a little bit gross, but you know. Mind you, there's an emoji for this now, so you know. That's a little. And obviously, Ursula will not be the one wielding the shovel. This nib is not holding a lot of ink today. Oh well. No worries. Good to chat, Pavel. Have a great time. Hard to believe we're 45 minutes into this drawing. See, this is why I'm bad at time management. I look at something like this and go, 20 minutes, easy. And it's like, 45 minutes later, and we aren't even realistically, about 40% done. Because I gotta do more line work on top, but hey. Let's give our T-Rex friend a little back claw there. We will fatten up the shadow under the T-Rex with a different nib after, but I'll just give a little indication of where that's going to be. Then on to the next mess that Noah has to shovel up. And let's add a big fat barrel cactus down here. right, now let's get a fatter nib and add a little more darker line, fatter lines to give some a little more definition, I guess, to the different planes. Once I'm done swishing the worst of the ink goop out of this one. Go for this one, a little fatter on the lines. So why is this goobered? Why is this nib giving? Nib's giving me a little bit of difficulty tonight. Well, I can fight with that another day. It probably needs to have a dose of the pen cleaner on it. That's fine. We will move on to yet a different nib. Is this one? That one is wanting to drag, and the ink is not coming out, so it's probably clogged. What else have we got in here? This nib is one of my favorite sort of things for making this kind of broken up, randomized almost texture on the ground, which is to say that this nib's probably kind of messed up. But it is a lot smoother than the other one is. Let's give the T-Rex a few stripes. Put a little shading around the hat so the hat pops out just a little more. I don't want to go too much, but you know, just enough. Well, never mind. So one problem with some of these nibs is if you're not super careful, you just go all black, but that's fine. Just make it make sense by making the land in general darker back there. Once this is scanned in, I'll probably go in Photoshop and give just a tiny white halo around each of those so the letters pop more. But there we go. Now, just squint and look at Noah's hair needs more definition because right now it looks like his hair is all white, but that is not the case. Or if it is, only his hairdresser knows. So we'll go back to the skinnier nib. Just gonna fatten up some of the line outlines around Noah too. little bit more shading into the cactus as well, since the sun's coming from back there, right? And I think we're kind of done, eh? I'm like looking at this squinting and I don't see anything that's really jumping out at me. I guess we could use a little bit more line shadow around there. Yeah, I think we are done this drawing. So, like I said at the beginning, I and a couple other times, working on an anthology for my webcomic Noah's Archipelago, and this guy Noah is the main character, and his daughter Ursula. Actually, I'm thinking I'm just gonna bring this shadow right down there. So these are bonus cartoons for that. And the bonus cartoons are going to be in black and white. There's only a few more of them. I think in total there's 7, and we've got 2 done. So we've got 5 more to do. I don't know if they'll all be done on stream, because I'd kind of like to have the book done a little sooner than a month from now if I do it on my Friday inking stream, but we'll figure that out. So anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed seeing Ursula's dream of having her very own pet T-Rex come to life, and Noah's nightmare of having to scoop the poop of a T-Rex come to life. And for live streams, I think I'm going to be good on Monday to add another live stream, maybe not every week, but certainly next week, where we will continue with some dip pen inking, although in that case it's going to be Miles Marov, our half mouse dude, at jury duty, so we will finish off that spread, and then on Tuesday will be the brainstorming, very loose sketching in my sketchbook. We're currently working on cartoons for Ursula and another character of mine, Ricky B. Rat, getting ready to go in search of the local Chuck E. Cheese knockoff. So we've been working with that the last few weeks. I have no idea what I'm going to draw on Tuesday. That's kind of how I roll, seat of the pants and whatnot. But we will continue with more inking and cartooning in future live streams. So thank you for watching, and we will catch you next time. Say goodbye, Noah. Noah's gonna be pissed. On the other hand, I don't know why he even cares. This is clearly not his backyard. This is somewhere in Arizona. Just let her ride the T-Rex and let it free poop, whatever. But, that would defeat the purpose of having him be all upset about there being a T-Rex. So, anyways, talk at you again, and we'll do some more drawing on the next stream. Bye for now.